Buongiorno, buon pomeriggio, and buonasera, Lazio world. Welcome to Stoppage Time. This is an instant reaction pod. If you're joining us, we are coming off our first live watch along for the Derby Della Capitale, and Caleb, a scoreless draw, but a entertaining match nonetheless. What? How do you feel coming out of this one?
I think it's fair to say we feel disappointed. However, encouraged with the performance. Right, we've seen some pretty flat performances from Lazio all year long, but they came here for the Derby Della Capitale. They showed up for it, and I'm proud. I'm proud of the team. I'm really proud of the team because they did. They displayed the football they wanted to play, put Roma on the back heels, right? But really unfortunate and a missed opportunity to not get all 3 points today.
What's kind of wild is just taking a look here at the stats. So again, this one finishes 0-0, but you look at just some of the surface level stats here. Lazio with 7 shots, Roma 8. Shots on target, you have Lazio with 2, Roma 1. Now, one that's not going to be attributed to on target was Luis Alberto's brilliant shot from outside of the box that just slams home against the post.
Yeah.
So, big opportunity, probably the biggest chance of the match, if not for the one he gets a little bit after, placed on a platter.
That was an easier chance too,
an easier chance, and he just has a poor crack at it. So, but if you were to just look at some of those stats, you would think that Lazio was outplayed. You would think potentially Roma was the better side, or that Roma was fielding all of the attack. But I think while we can be proud, I think it's a little bit disappointing. So let's 3 words to describe this one. What do you got?
Oh man. And let me think about it for a bit here. I would say I'm going to say foundation to build.
Okay.
I'm going to use foundation to build.
Expand on that a little bit,
because I think this was the game that looked the most similar to us last season, in my opinion, for the most part. I thought that we had some good sequences of play, a solid defense, kept a clean sheet, which is a rarity nowadays for us, but we kept another clean sheet, which is fantastic. And I think that even though we didn't get the win that we maybe should have gotten, I do think that this is a performance and a result that the team can look at and be like, hey, let's keep that energy going. Let's keep this going. We can play. We can really play. So, yeah, I hope to see some more of this.
Yeah, it's tough. And, again, usually you and I have some time to digest quickly. They're instant reactions, but, this is the ultimate instant reaction coming off of a live watch along.
Yeah.
So, my 3 words are 3 points missed. And I feel good about the way that we played. I think there are tons of positives we can take from this. But I think we're gonna hurt a little bit from not walking away from this one with 3 points.
Yeah.
Given the state of what happened around Serie A this weekend, with Atalanta dropping, Napoli dropping, Milan dropping, this was an opportunity to go above Roma.
Yeah.
And so I think they can look at this saying we walked out of the match in which for them was the road side, right? This was their road match. They were the away side in this one, and they were fortunate to walk out of this one unscathed. For them, it is a 0.1. For us, I think this is 2 points dropped, and we'll dive into some of those positives because I think your 3 words is fair, and it does provide us something we can really be positive about. This is a good side in the league. I think we provided more opportunities. We saw Cheeto in some of those positions he likes, but man, I just I wish we could have just found, clearly, as I'm saying the obvious, but found the back of the net.
Yeah.
Who were your standouts? Who are you giving that match ball to for player of the match?
I think it's a pretty easy choice. I think everybody would have the same name. Matteo Guendouzi. Guendouzi was just absolutely everywhere from the very start. He was up for this game. He was not fazed at all by the moment, by the occasion. In fact, I actually think he was even more fired up than normally he is. Right? I thought he affected the game on both sides of the ball. I thought that he had excellent moments on defense, tracking back, making tackles. Also had excellent moments going forward, making the right pass going forward. Played an incredible, like really first time through ball to Immobile in the second half there, off an Isaacson. I believe that was off the Isaacson, also incredible ball. But he had himself just a complete overall excellent game on both sides of the ball. And I think he's locked down his starting spot in this team right now. I mean, Guendouzi's been our best midfielder as of late and really just epitomized that in this game.
Yeah, clean sweep here. I mean, Guendouzi, just a beast, a player that I am quickly falling in love with. I mean, he is somebody that from an effort level, check. From a technical ability, check. 90 plus minutes, 93 minutes, and he was our midfield that was highest up the field, still pressing along. And then when you needed a tackle in the late stages of the match, he was the one coming in and earning a tackle, winning the ball back, fighting, playing some really nice crosses in.
Yeah.
You know, you found him out wide to the right with Isaacson. You saw him all the way out to the left, the middle of the field, helping out our center backs. What a near perfect match.
It really was. It really was. If it wasn't like if he scored an assist, would be the only thing that could have made it better.
Yeah,
but
and,
it was
and
pretty
he had a potential assist.
Yeah, he did.
You know, that just didn't ultimately go our way with Cheadle, but just that he was a player that was up for his first derby.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned him playing in some pretty big matches with Arsenal in London, in some of those big derbies at Marseille against PSG. So, you know, he's no stranger to some of the biggest fixtures in the world, and it looked that way. So, you know, for me, some extra shouts to a player that, you know, limited minutes tonight, but wow, Isaacson, what a nice player we have on our hands that can certainly continue to grow and show more. And we've been calling for him. We like what we've seen in limited opportunities. Tonight was one of those matches. What do you think of Isaacson?
Oh my goodness, I think he showed exactly what we all like or expected in him. Right, we knew coming into the season that he was a player that could unbalance defenses, force you to double team him, to triple team him, because in 1v1s he was excellent. And I thought this game particularly, he came in with like a kind of a different level of maturity, right? Like he did those attacking kind of plays he's known for, taking players on, but he also did the defensive work, made some interceptions, made some tackles. He also made some good decisions on, hey, maybe it's better to reset play here. Whereas sometimes it's a lot of go. He kind of saw the instances and recognized, hey, let's reset play here. Or, hey, let me take a foul here. And so, like, if he doesn't get more minutes after this, we would be really hard done, because I think that he's absolutely deserved them, especially considering how our wingers have been playing this season.
Yeah, and it's going to take a little bit of time for these players to click. I think, you know, there's a couple instances where he did so well to beat his man. I think he was like tiptoeing the line, plays a ball in, and there's nobody there in the box. I think that's just players like Cheadle and Felipe understanding the type of player that Isaacson is, his tendencies, and also the fact that, you know, maybe he can deliver a nice ball that they're not used to, you know, when it's a Lazio. So I think, you know, he's only going to grow. He's only going to provide more. I loved what I saw from him. You know, and the other player I briefly mentioned, maybe for his lack of crossing, but I think he was a standout tonight. You know, the last player that I want to shout out is Lazio.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good on both sides of the ball. I think
that's the thing, on both sides of the ball for me that really stood out.
Yeah, I thought the Lazio maybe had a quieter game on the offensive side. I don't think we saw him as much bombarding forward, but he chose his moments better, right? I remember a situation where I forgot the exact chance, but Guendouzi kind of got the ball out wide a bit, and then Lazari recognized that he had no option centrally, and then decided to overlap. He held his position, then overlap and then there was no one that could guard him. Right, it really threw off the defense and unbalanced them. But he made some big defensive plays, running back on defense, tracking back. Was never really caught out. About as complete of a game from Lazari as well.
Yeah.
I mean, just really good performance overall.
And look, there obviously we've got to talk about some of the negative here, because at the end of the day, it was a draw. There were some opportunities. We weren't playing our best football. Which players for you are in contention, or who are you dubbing our bidone of the match?
I'm gonna have to go with Alberto again. He's been sort of after a really good start to the season. To be fair to him, it's become a little. It's become a trend now. It isn't just a one bad game. In this particular game, I thought Alberto actually was good on defense, so I'll give him credit for that. Made some good plays on defense, came back, tracked back, made some good tackles, made some good interceptions. But my goodness, in the one of the few games where we can actually get Alberto into good positions, he just fluffed it. And frankly, just fluffed it. We've had Alberto get into situations where he has 2-3 guys on him and he's having to do so much. And I understand those situations, but in this game, we got him in positions where he had space, he had time. It was in the final third, and you're like, oh, if anybody can get the ball in these situations, please let it be Alberto, right? And in this situation, and in this match, whether it was holding on the ball too long, making the wrong pass, the decision-making just was poor. It was poor. There's so many situations in this game and instances where you're like, expecting at least to get something off a shot, something, and we end up with absolutely nothing and single-handedly at fault, because of Alberto making the wrong decision. And that's the guy you want in those moments, right? So for me, it's got to be Alberto. He did a lot of good defensively, but where he truly is a sign, but why he's on the field to begin with, he wasn't up to par.
It's I've talked about the stars that need to step up for this side, and this was a match where they did not. Yeah. You look at the poorest performers early on during our watch along. Marusic made up what could have been an absolutely egregious error. Was fortunate to escape unscathed, but then he picked himself up and had a really strong match afterwards. Right? Yeah. One big mistake, fortunate to get out of it, but then a whole ton of positive. Yeah. Ultimately, stopping Roma from doing any damage. Roma, Donnie said it, Roma has a propensity to find goals late in matches. And Lukaku can scare the hell out of any team, particularly us, with the likes of Patrick, Lazari smaller. When we had Marusic, who's a little bit bigger, can handle that. But, he did a really nice job. So, start to think of who's that bidone, and he's no longer one of the players in contention. And I immediately think of our stars. Did they step up tonight? Yeah. Luis, you said it, from an attacking phase, could have been the man of the match.
Yeah, could have easily
been brilliant strike. But after that, it's just some poor decisions that he makes where you think, damn, top of the box, Luis Alberto, who else do you want the ball at his feet besides him? And just failed us in that area. Felipe Anderson, again, it's no surprise. We talk about him all the time where he can be invisible, and that he was, right? All of a sudden you have Isaacson on that right side, and everything comes to life in a way that we hadn't seen for 70 minutes during that match. And, a little bit of bad luck from Felipe, even when he would beat a man, they're calling a foul for whatever reason. And so, another star player invisible, and then, Chiro, not his best. I wouldn't quite give him the bidone because I thought he at least had some positives, right? Makes a really nice run, finds himself. There's a couple really tough ones towards the end of the match. He does well to bring the ball in, chest it in. He's got like 5 Roma defenders off of him. He's being pulled, he's yanked, does really well to find some space. He's hitting the ground and for a strike that ultimately does nothing. But there were still some moments where a poor touch, We thought he could have done better. I think that was a ball that Guendouzi played to him on the run, right? He takes a touch that gets ahead of him a little bit too much. Then Mancini makes a nice little tackle to save the day there.
I think of we were out on the press. We had the ability to counterattack. And I think he just completely misses the ball or something like that,
Yeah. So again, not his best day, and a match where I think we felt good about so much. Yeah. It's just a draw, but this is a match where you really want your star players to influence. And what we're seeing is that the players influencing matches for us right now are new players.
Yeah.
Your Isaacson or our bench players. Yeah. Pedros has influenced the match. Vecino, is influencing matches. So, I think that for me, of those three, it's probably fair to either go with Luis Alberto or Felipe, who just sleep at the wheel. But to the positive, I think both contributed from a defensive side that it did preserve this point for us. So, where do you think we've got a little bit of time? So our next match, no Luis Alberto. We're playing Salernitana. It's international break. You mentioned this is something to build on, so expand on that. Let's think about what do we look like post-international break? What are some of those tweaks? And do you obviously feel good about it? Or what are some of those things that you maybe want to see heading into that Salernitana match, and as we get a little bit further into the season? Because here's the live look at the table. We did ourselves no favors today. That's why I think it was a missed opportunity. Yeah. We sit in 10th. We've got 17 points ahead of us. Are Monza, Bologna, Roma at 7. The current top 4 occupied by Juve, Inter, Milan, Napoli. Napoli at 21 points. So we are 4 points out of a top 4, which makes it so frustrating that we could have been right there knocking on the door. Right there. And then Atalanta and Fiorentina occupy the last 2 European spots. So what do you want to see? And what did you see from this match that maybe gives you a little bit of hope?
I think particularly with injuries to Zaccagni, Alberto not being available for the next match, Vecino potentially injured here. We don't know how serious that is. I would love to see a guy like Isaacson get a start. Give him a start. Give Kamada a start. Give some of these guys some reps together. Some of the newer guys, as you said, they're the ones impacting the matches right now. They're the ones being the difference makers. Maybe time to give not necessarily the old guard, right? They still have a place in this team, but particularly someone like Alberto, this is a good opportunity, and Felipe as well. Who these are positions that it's not like they're undroppable right now, right? That's the biggest thing for me is, hey, yeah, it'd be great to give them. It'd be great to give new guys a chance, but if they're balling out, no way that's happening. But it's a situation where, hey, we don't really have anything to lose in this situation because Felipe has been pretty poor most of the season. Zaccagni has not been the version of himself last year. We have a guy in Isaacson who every time he's come on, he's got something to him, right? He's got that extra sort of element of danger, of chance creation. And as well, give Kamada the reps as well, particularly with Alberto struggling. I get Alberto, he was key early in the season, but he's sort of tailed off here at the end in recent matches. So give Kamada a chance. Guendouzi's been excellent, undroppable right now. Keep him out there for sure. And so definitely give the new guys some more reps, particularly those two, Kamada, Isaacson, with what's been happening in those positions recently.
Well, now is the time to give those players reps because here's our fixture list. Salernitana, then we've got Champions League against Celtic at home, but just from a Serie A because we've got some Coppa Italia now starting to become in the mix, added games, which could be looked at as a challenge with more games, but also the opportunity for some of these guys to get in the mix. But just looking at Serie A, Salernitana, Cagliari, and Verona. So you've got 3 teams that in the table are 2 of those bottom of the table, the last 2 teams in the league. This is a must. This stretch is 9 points or bust for me. Absolutely, 9 points could vault us. We've seen some of these top sides drop points. For us, it can't be anything but 9. We've got to walk away with this all 9 points. So I'm excited to see Kamada. I'd like to, against Salernitana, clearly there's no questions. You don't have Luis Alberto. It's Kamada time.
Yeah.
Go back with Rovella, Guendouzi. Let that three right there
That's
get
what
get
we
some
wanted to see
opportunities
all season.
So now it's no questions asked. Let's go out there and do it. Use this as an opportunity for Cheetah to get back on track.
Yeah.
Play the way we played today, where again we're trying to make some of those breaking passes to Cheetah, and we can be a little bit more decisive. And Isakson's got to get a start. In one of those 3 matches, he absolutely has to get a start. He has earned it. So those are the things that I want to see going into some of the next few matches. You've got this international break to have some of these guys gel and train and figure some of this out. But it's a big point in the season because you don't take advantage of these 3 opponents coming up. It's going to be a lost season because it doesn't get any easier with Champions League. You got Atletico after that. You've got Inter. You have Empoli, who just beat Napoli. But you have a couple really tough matches. So if you don't walk away with it with all 9, then it's going to be a challenge to climb back. So look, this was a lot of fun today. Getting to do the watch along with everybody. Recapping the match as usual on our instant reaction pod. Make sure you are liking, subscribing. We're going to try and do some more stuff like we did today, particularly around some of these bigger matches. We want to find more and more ways to connect the Lazio world together through this platform. So give us a like, subscribe, follow us on social media. It's been a lot of fun doing this. So as always, above everything, sempre forza